Hi guys, welcome back to the 401 Files. It's an absolute pleasure to have each and every one of you back here with me. I just want to say before we start this video, thank you to each and every one of you guys out there for supporting the channel, spreading the word of the 401 Files to like-minded friends and family, because you've all recently helped me hit the 8k subscriber mark and I am so grateful for that. So guys, thank you, give yourself a big pat on the back, I really do appreciate that. Now, my phone over the last few days has been going crazy on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, email, you name it. However which way you guys could get hold of me, you've damn made sure that you did, because you guys are super interested in this triangular UFO that's been filmed once again out at sea over the USS Marshall. This was actually filmed by a crew member stationed on the USS Marshall just off the coast of California. I'm super interested in this as well. This is once again the Pentagon confirming that something out there is of unknown origin. Without further ado guys, sit back, grab yourself a coffee, relax and enjoy this one. So the first thing I'm thinking right now is California, and in UFO history we all have heard about the Battle of Los Angeles, especially ufologists and people with a keen interest in this field of UFOs and extraterrestrials. We've all heard of the Battle of Los Angeles. Well, Los Angeles is the city in the state of California. This ship filming in this weird shaped triangle craft in the sky is just off the coast of California. What is it about California that is interesting these extraterrestrials or these unknown craft to pay very special attention? Like, why are they hovering around this area? Why are they being seen in this area quite frequently? I find that super interesting because from my standpoint, as somebody who speaks openly about the connection between extraterrestrials and Bigfoot, when we look at California, it has a very varied topography, basically meaning that the terrain differs from mile to mile in quite a broad spectrum. And one of those terrain types is the mountain ranges of the Sierra Nevada. Now, why else do we hear about Sierra Nevada? Well, the famous Bigfoot recordings of the Sierra Sounds. Now, I don't want you guys to start thinking, oh, here Ben is again with his out-of-the-box thinking, trying to link the Bigfoot and extraterrestrial phenomena together, but I've spoken about it many times openly here on this channel that I do think there is a connection. Do I think that all Bigfoots are extraterrestrial? No, not at all. Do I think that all extraterrestrials might be Bigfoot? No. I think that somewhere along the line there may be a Bigfoot that is extraterrestrial, but not all of them. Maybe some of them are native to this land. Who knows what the story is behind how they got here, why they are here. I just think there is a connection because there are too many similarities and coincidences regarding the two phenomena that bring them together. We have the famous Patterson-Gimlin footage, Northern California. The Battle of Los Angeles, famous UFO sighting, Southern California. Now we have this boat, or this ship, USS Marshall, capturing this weird triangular craft hovering off the coast of California. And as I mentioned before, the famous, world famous Sierra Sounds Bigfoot recordings come from California. Where do you think the Bigfoot capital of the world is? Willow Creek. Where do you think Willow Creek is? You guessed it, California. Now, I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that I think this triangular-shaped UFO craft hovering off the coast of California is in any way, shape or form related to the Bigfoot phenomena. That's not what I'm saying. Right now, sat here on the face of it, I'm just curious, I'm intrigued and fascinated that a lot of the well-documented cases and stories throughout history regarding the two phenomena seem to be happening in and around the state of California. Please do not be taking a drink of any alcoholic substance every time I say the word California, because right now recording this, I'm aware that I've said it a hell of a lot of times. Maybe it's just because I'm British and I like saying the word California, like California, here we are. That's going to be in my head all day now. For me, I think that this is an interest in the naval fleet. I think this is an interest from extraterrestrials looking down at these naval ships and thinking, hang on a second, what the hell is going on here? What kind of arsenal are these things carrying? Let's investigate. Add to that that when you are out in the ocean, you have a massive wide field of view of the night sky, and therefore you are going to get to see a lot more things happening up there than you would, say, if you was in a built-up area with lots of light pollution. But even with all that aside, there are still some really weird and strange connections with the UFO phenomenon and large expanses of water. The Allagash incident was on a lake. The Nimitz encounter was out at sea. The Pentagon have released their footage from Navy pilots out at sea. We had the Turkey footage where the UFO returned 3 years in a row and small extraterrestrial beings could be seen in the craft. And now we have another piece of footage here out at sea. If this isn't weirding you out yet, guys, let me put a few things into perspective. Here we have a craft that can fly and make maneuvers in the sky that outdo any of our known pilots or aircraft to date. But not only that, it can drop thousands of feet down below and hover above sea level in seconds, less than seconds. It can submerge the water and travel under the water doing hundreds of knots. Let me just put that into perspective even further. A bullet can't even travel underwater doing hundreds of knots for very long. But yet here we have this craft that can fly and maneuver, doing strange things in the sky and equally do the same again underwater, and yet it has no visible propulsion system. There is no exhaust, there is no noise, there is no fumes, there is no backdraft of flames coming out of the exhaust. There's nothing. This is one very weird craft, and it doesn't surprise me that the Pentagon have said of unknown origin, because how could you explain something like that and say that we're in possession of it? The public would never believe that. The Russians do have a new underwater drone system called Canyon, which is extremely fast, very, very fast. But again, it's nowhere near the speeds of these craft that we're seeing here, and that can submerge water, fly around in the sky. It's nothing even on the same level. And the Canyon that the Russians have is nuclear powered. So again, it's a very different propulsion system to what we're seeing here, whatever this thing is. For any UFO deniers, anybody still out there denying the UFO phenomena after watching footage like this and other footage for many years that have come forward of these craft, please, I urge you, please, bring forward to me an aircraft or a submarine that can match this thing. Whether it's still in production or it's in use from any Earth nation, I don't care where it comes from, who's using it, or what stage of development it's in. Just show me it. I want a craft that can fly in space, fly in low Earth orbit, submerge the ocean and travel at hundreds of knots, disappear in the blink of an eye, has no propulsion system, no noise. Please, find me a craft that can do that. You won't and you can't. It's impossible. The human body would be ripped into thousands of... we wouldn't even be ripped into thousands of pieces. We'd be mush. If we tried to pull those kind of G's, if we tried to submerge and hit the water at such a speed, we would be mush. So not only does the aircraft not exist today, the people who are needed to fly these crafts don't exist. It's an impossibility. Please, listen, now is the time to start believing. If you are a debunker, if you are somebody who discredits these UFO pieces of footage, not every UFO footage that comes on the internet is going to be genuine. I know that more than anyone because I pretty much spend most of my time debunking half of them. But you need to understand, the world is changing. We are coming to a time now where we need to understand that we are not alone. We're not at the top of the food chain by a long shot, and never have been. The Earth is being visited, if not frequented. They live here already. They stay here permanently. They never left. Whatever the case may be, we aren't alone in the universe, guys. I think the majority of you people here now watching this know that, and I take my hat off to each and every one of you guys, like I said at the start, for supporting this channel. Thank you all so much. Spread the word about the 401 files, guys. Like I said, we aren't alone. We're all in this together, and we're all trying to find answers to the same questions. What is going on?